So you're looking for the best budgeting tool for you, but for some reason, for your situation, none really just seem to be working out for you. In this series, we'll cover a wide variety of different budgeting tools and options to help you find your best budgeting fit.
This episode is sponsored by Southern Adventist University.
Welcome to this very special series brought to you by The Loop. Today we're just going to kick things off by talking about budgeting tools. Each episode or video will be dedicated to a single budgeting tool. We'll be giving you a thorough walkthrough of all that ins and outs of each of the tools that we're going to show you, as well as a graded rubric at the end to kind of go over some of the highlights and the strengths, and then we're going to give it a score. Finally, we will kind of state who this specific budgeting tool might be for and who might want to, look further. Now, if you just want to cut to the chase, you have the option of skipping the walkthrough section and just going to the end where we do our score summary, who this budgeting tool might be for or who should look further. I highly recommend that you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can keep updated on each video as it's released.
So we're going to talk about some budgeting tools here. First one we want to start with is Dave Ramsey's old-fashioned on-paper PDF tool. This is the Dave Ramsey of the Dave Ramsey Radio Show, the Christian financial guru. He has the Financial Peace University class that's offered all over the country, and I use it myself. It's very old school in the sense that it's on paper. It's on purpose. It's giving every dollar a job. I print these PDFs out and I use them on a month-to-month basis. Brand new budget for each month, every month, for the rest of your life. There are different ways to look at it. I am on salary. My paycheck looks similar each month from month to month to month. There are some people who are in sales, for instance, on commission, and they may have a paycheck that is high one month, a little lower the next, and it changes month to month, or a freelancer who is self-employed. There's a PDF here for irregular income like that, and it gives you some steps to follow, and it helps you to estimate your income based on history and how to build a budget based on that, the ups and downs of that kind of an income scheme. My preference is this PDF, the monthly cash flow plan, which is more for people with a more consistent flow of income from month to month. You can see how this is put together. At the beginning of the PDF, he puts step-by-step instructions. And what he's explaining here in these 5 steps of instructions is how to get and construct a zero-based budget. What's a zero-based budget? It's where you put your income at the top, right here, where it says monthly take-home pay. You list all your expenses according to category here in the body of the report. And when you get to the bottom, you subtract those from your income, and the goal is to get to zero. That's why they call it a zero balanced budget. And when you've gotten to zero, it means you've given every dollar a job. You've given every dollar a place to go, so that theoretically dollars don't leak out of your life like they inevitably will if you don't have a plan. So let's look a little bit about how this is put together. I like the fact that it starts at the top with charity. Charity, having a grateful heart, a giving spirit, makes the rest of your financial picture flow. So tithes and offerings, charity giving, right at the top. Second category is savings. The beautiful thing about this format is that he gives us suggested ranges of percentages of your income that each category should take. I like to point out the housing category here. Your rent or your mortgage, property taxes, your repairs, anything associated with your housing should not exceed 35% of your income. If you spend too much on your housing, you may not be able to put gas in your car. So follow these rough percentages ranges, and you're going to be budgeting in a safe manner. You can see each category totals up into its subtotal. All the subtotals are totaled up down here at the bottom into this category total box. And when you take that and subtract it from your income, if you come to zero, you've done it right. And you have given every dollar a job. You can get this PDF form from online on Dave Ramsey's website, and you print it out on paper, and paper is pretty universally accessible. It's free. Free is always good, especially when you're making a budget. I think it's right at the top, 10. The beauty of this PDF form that Dave Ramsey offers is that it has a step-by-step instruction guide. And it's very accessible no matter your level of financial ability, and takes you through it step by step. I would give that a 10. It's pretty versatile. As you noticed, in each category, there were some empty blanks. Not everybody is going to have the same expenses every month, so he left some blanks there for you to fill in. If you have more blanks than what he has in his little categories, I guess it's not quite as versatile as it needs to be. Yeah, it's probably an 8. There's a section in there called emergency fund. I'm actually going to put a dollar amount in there to anticipate emergencies that will happen. I don't know what they'll be or how much they'll cost, but at least I'm going to bank something into my budget in that line item for money that might leak because a tire went flat or an unexpected car repair or a medical bill. You can't know that ahead of time, so you put something in there on the emergency category. It's just your best guess.
Okay, so we've given you the walkthrough, we've given you our score summary, but who's it for? The average Joe who is just looking for a simple budgeting tool, nothing too fancy or over the top. Those who are more tactile and prefer handwriting. Those who like things simple and easy on the eyes. Those who might be more conceptual thinkers, simple, relevant terms, no jargon, no nitty-gritty details. Those who have a good handle on all their expenses and transactions. And this one here is probably a key one that I might have to point out. As stated before, there's no way to track or identify transactions because it's not connected to your bank account or anything. Why that's important is unless you have a really good handle on all of your budgeting items, and unless you have a really good handle on all your transactions, you basically dot your I's and cross your T's. Unless you're that type of person, money will have a tendency to leak just due to surprise fees and subscriptions that you might have forgotten about and a bunch of different other things. If you're not really on top of everything, this might not be the tool you would want to use, or you might have to use this tool in tandem with another, and that's perfectly fine. I think right here I should also point out that because there really is no perfect budgeting solution, you may have to use 2 or more budgeting tools together in order to really get a hold of your finances. So as we review each of these tools, keep that in mind. As a rule of thumb, if you see any budgeting tool with a low versatility score, and especially a low money leak management score, be prepared to either get better at manually tracking your transactions and expenses, or to use an additional budgeting tool to supplement that area. A tool with a score of 9 or above in these areas is what we would say does a good job taking away the guessing and minimizing the stressing. Now let's wrap this up. Who may need to look further? The DIY or do-it-yourself overthinker. Those who love to see the big picture. Those who like flexibility and customization. Those who value assistance in accurate cash flow management or assistance with money leak management. Again, you don't want too much hassle in hunting down where every dollar goes, and you don't like surprises. If any or all of these descriptions fit you, you may have to look further at other options. But don't worry, we got you. We will be covering more tools later in this series.
This episode is sponsored by Southern Adventist University.